Welcome back to another video, guys. I don't really know how to start off this video, being that the topic is very sensitive, and I've never personally ever talked about a school shooting before, but hopefully I can do a lot better than our president and leader of the free world can.
I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. You think I'm kidding? And who are those good-looking kids back there?
So as you all know, there was a tragic school shooting in Nashville. There was 3 adults and 3 kids that tragically lost their lives. 6 families changed forever. Now, there's been a lot of talk about, oh, this is gonna have the conservatives running wild. They're gonna use this and say this is all transgender people. No, maybe people will actually look into the research for once. So, looking into it, I've seen that there's actually kind of a rise in women that don't want to take hormones or testosterone when they transition because they don't want to deal with the anger. Are you going to jump on me again because I'm recording? Hi, hello, every time, I'm telling you. I take it because it makes them aggressive, and they've heard about the side effects of just becoming aggressive, so they don't want to take it. So that, hello! So that mixed in with either some kind of mental illness, which they always play the mental illness card. I cannot stand it. Every time there's a news article, oh, shooting, killing, whatever, they always bring up mental illness, mental whatever. Does my hair taste good to you? I just shampooed it, so yeah. They always bring up mental illness as if it's some kind of excuse, which they don't make it out to be an excuse, but just the fact that they say mental illness, it's enough for me to get sickened by the story and to know exactly where they stand. It's honestly just idiotic. So from what we know from the story, she wanted to be a dude, identified as a dude, whatever, but she was a biological woman. She attended this school, she was, I guess, getting counseled by the pastor, and she just randomly one day decided to go ahead and shoot up the school, one of the victims being the pastor's daughter. So if that doesn't give you all the motivation there is to prove that this was basically motivated and premeditated because of whatever reason, maybe the church was trying to get her to, I don't know, be normal and accept her body for what it is instead of trying to go ahead and chop off her body parts and identify as whatever she wants to identify as. She most likely took it personally and took it out on the pastor's 9-year-old daughter, as well as 2 other kids and 3 other adults. I know, right?
But one theory holds that she had targeted this man, counseling her.
What I'm hearing, he was providing counseling for her, and something didn't sit right with her.
Former Covenant School pastor Jim Bachman says Hale appeared to be searching for Scruggs when she went through the school. She shot Scruggs' 9-year-old daughter Hallie dead.
If she'd found Chad, if she'd have tried to kill him, maybe she'd have left the daughter alone.
So in the video, you can clearly see that the woman enters like she's looking for somebody. She was looking for the pastor. A man even said it himself that she was clearly looking for somebody when she was in there. And unfortunately, if the pastor was there, a lot of people were saying that the little girl could have survived because she wasn't the intentional victim. But I'm guessing she either knew that the daughter was the pastor's daughter, or it was a horrible timing of luck, and I just don't know what else to call it besides just pure and brutal murder. Regardless of, her being transgender, it's still honestly sickening. How do you look a child in the eye and take their life? Me as a mother, I can only look at a child and give life. I cannot take that life away, especially once they are already breathing, living, going to school. A lot of people are failing to realize. We really don't know much about the long-term effects of going on these drugs, transitioning, detransitioning, because that's a lot more popular than transitioning if you actually look at the statistics. But you don't even need to look at it. Just ask any group and they will tell you, yeah, we have a lot of people that transition. But that's only if they're going to be honest to you, because frankly, the detransitioners get a lot of fucking shit for detransitioning and going and telling their story. It's sick. If you're going to actually... Little baby's running, it's my neighbor's kids, baby's running. you're gonna go ahead and clap somebody, for gonna cheer them on for chopping off their body parts, but you're not going to cheer them on for finding themselves again in their original state and wanting to go back to that. Like, that's sickening. You cannot just have it one-sided. And that's like what I've honestly noticed about the left and the right. That's why I can't really put myself on the left or the right, because at the end of the day, neither one side can have a conversation, because it always comes down to this, hi, what the fuck? Because it always comes down to the same fucking thing, which is hypotheticals, making up these situations, talking about things that have nothing to do with the topic. For example, abortion. There's a really common answer to that, and I'm not going to get into it. Hi, what the fuck? What's going on? Honey, you never do this. It's only when I film. Honey. With all of these drugs that people have to go on when they go and transition, God knows what it must do to their mental, and God knows how it must mess up a person's mental if they're already dealing with some kind of a mental illness, some kind of trauma, anything, because let's face it, we're all a little fucked up in the head. So, depending on how you deal with that, if you deal with it at all, I'm sure it could play into effect when you go on these types of really hardcore drugs that literally change you. Like, internally. They don't change you completely. You're never going to be completely that gender, but they do change you, and they do harm you, and they do a lot of damage that I feel like is not really warned about, which is sick. You know, at the end of the day, transgender or not, man, female, I just think if you can hurt a child, you're not human. You're just sick. But we need to face the facts. Women don't normally go ahead and do this. Typically, shooters are always male, especially in these scenarios of a school shooting. A female typically would not do something like this. Why did she do something like this? Well, let's see. She had an agenda with the pastor. She was on some kind of hormones, some kind of drugs, and we don't know what was going on in her head. So all those things combined clearly make for a psychotic person. Instead of being treated and being helped with her gender dysphoria, she was just led to play into this fantasy world where it led her to believe that, oh, if nobody listens to me, if no one understands me, I'm just going to go ahead and pew pew pew. What does that achieve exactly? Nothing but death. At the end of the day, that's clearly what this person wanted. And at the end of the day, that just goes to show you that these people do not care about our children. They have went as far as to say they're going to start violence if Tennessee, whatever, Texas, doesn't do something with their trans law. All I know is I saw the video. Gotta clip it.
Fight! Resist! You're gonna die anyways. We're going to die anyways. It's time to resist. Fight them. Hurt them. If they put their hands on you, beat them.
And we've seen it firsthand. How many more school shootings are going to happen until these transgender people, whatever they want to call themselves, get whatever rights they want, which they're not going to get? You know, we have male and female. We have separate bathrooms for a reason, separate changing rooms for a reason, you know, unless you're married to the other gender, how I am married to my husband. Yeah, you can change in front of each other, but in a public setting, we have public spaces and public separate spaces and expectations for a reason, because as a society we have all come adjusted to a certain level of comfortability, and I don't think that should change because a small group of fags wants to tell me and tell the rest of the world that because we're not woke, because we're bigots, we need to align with their ideologies and their beliefs. No, that's not going to work. We're not going to get shit done that way. Things still have to be built, things have to be baked and cooked, things have to be cleaned. We can't stop for every single person that gets a splinter in the road. We can help in the system, but we can't help everybody that doesn't want to help themselves. So I say if you don't want to be a part of society, we need to just leave those people alone and let bygones be bygones and let them figure it out for themselves. Because we have enough people in the world struggling for real, and these people are just making up new problems as if the world is not filled enough already with problems. And even though my videos don't get many views, I just want to send my sincere apologies to all the families that were affected in the shooting. It's one parent to another. I can't imagine the pain that you must feel. And I can't really speak anymore about it because I'm gonna get cheered up about it. But also, I have no words because I've never been in that situation. I hope to God I'm never in that situation. But I just pray this never happens again. And we need to do better as a society to make sure it doesn't happen again. Please, like, for the love of God, please send our kids to school to learn, not to get shot up. Like, Jesus. All right, you free thinkers and truth seekers. Have a nice day.
Дай только повод, я запишу по-любому. Послушай, что они скажут, и сделай все по-другому.